What do you do when you need to enroll computers and devices that aren't eligible for automated device enrollment? Or maybe they are eligible, but they're not ready to be erased for enrollment because the user is in the middle of a really good chess game. This is Zach. Let's learn about user-initiated enrollment. Unlike automated device enrollment, user-initiated enrollment happens anytime after Setup Assistant is completed on a device and is triggered manually by the user. With user-initiated enrollment, supervision is not enabled and users will be able to remove management at any time. There are two main types of user-initiated enrollment: device enrollment for institutionally owned devices, and user enrollment for personally owned devices. Beyond that, there are two different methods to enroll devices. The first is profile-driven enrollment, where the MDM profile is downloaded from an enrollment URL. The second is account-driven enrollment, where the user logs into the Settings app with a managed Apple ID and the MDM profile is downloaded after. With those factors in mind, that leaves us with four different combinations for user-initiated enrollment: profile-driven device enrollment, profile-driven user enrollment, account-driven device enrollment, and account-driven user enrollment. At this time, computers are only capable of device enrollment as Apple does not yet support enrolling personally owned computers. For the purposes of this video, we're going to focus on profile-driven device and user enrollment, as it's the simplest method to get set up. To learn more about account-driven device and user enrollment, check out the link in the resources. Let's start by getting user-initiated enrollment set up. From the Jamf Pro dashboard, navigate to Settings, Global, User-initiated enrollment. Then click Edit on the bottom right. From the General tab, we can restrict re-enrollment to authorized users only if we have specific people in our organization designated to re-enroll devices. By default, the Skip Certificate Installation During Enrollment box is selected. Think of the SSL certificate as the equivalent of a government-issued ID. It validates that our Jamf Pro server is truly a Jamf Pro server, so that Apple devices know they can trust us. If your Jamf Pro server is hosted on jamfcloud.com, you can leave this box selected. The certificate installation can be skipped if using an internal certificate authority or a trusted third-party vendor. If you're using a different SSL certificate, for instance on a server you're hosting yourself with a third party that's not globally trusted, you'll need to deselect this box so the certificate can be downloaded and verified on the device. This third checkbox, Use the third-party signing certificate, is where you would upload that SSL certificate. To reiterate, if your server is on jamfcloud.com, you can leave these two settings as they are. We've got you covered. The Messaging tab is where we can customize the messaging that users see when enrolling computers and devices. By default, we have all the messaging created in English. This messaging can be changed by clicking the Edit button to the far right. Here we can see every aspect of messaging can be changed, right down to the text on the buttons. There are even some extra things that can be added, like an end-user license agreement. This is where we could put some terms and conditions for using institutional or personally owned devices for work. Once we've edited the messaging to our liking, click the blue Save button. Messaging in other languages can be added with the Add Language button on the top right. The macOS tab is where we can enable user-initiated enrollment for computers. If you've already set up automated device enrollment, this tab may already be configured as it is required to be enabled before a computer pre-stage enrollment can be created. If it's not enabled yet, select the checkbox to do so. The first thing we're prompted to do is specify a management account. The management account used to be a foundational piece of the Jamf management framework. However, as Jamf Pro has grown over the years, the need for the management account has lessened. Now it's only used for a few minor optional workflows such as the local admin password solution or LAPS. We no longer need to specify a username or even create the management account itself, though we still do recommend at least specifying a name for this account in case it's ever needed in the future. I'm typing Jamf Manage for the username of my account. Next, we can choose to create the management account on computers when they are enrolled. If the account is created, we can choose to hide the management account so it doesn't show up on the login screen or during user switching. We can also enable SSH access in case we want to use the account for remote login. The password for this account is randomly generated for each individual machine, encrypted and stored in the Jamf Pro database so that only Jamf Pro is able to use it. After that, we have a couple extra options to enable SSH during enrollment and launch the self-service app when enrollment is done. Finally, we have the option to enable account-driven enrollment with the checkbox here. Please note that in order to use account-driven enrollment, several extra steps must be taken, including creating and hosting a JSON file with enrollment information. To learn how to do this, check out the link in the resources titled Setting Up Account-Driven Device Enrollment. Those are all the settings for enrolling computers. Let's check out enrollment for iOS and iPadOS devices. Click the iOS tab. Here we can choose which types of enrollment we want to enable for iOS and iPadOS devices. I only have institutional devices that I want to enroll with the profile-driven method, so I'm selecting Enable for institutionally owned devices under Profile-Driven Enrollment. Finally, click the Access tab. From here, if we have an LDAP, SSO, or Cloud Directory connected to Jamf Pro, we can specify a directory group that contains users who are approved to log in to enroll devices with profile-driven enrollment. If you don't have any directory service configured or a directory group to specify here, then the user will need to log in with a Jamf Pro user account that has enrollment privileges. For more information on how to make these types of accounts, check out our video on user accounts and groups. With that done, let's click Save on the bottom right. We can now start enrolling computers and devices. To do so, we'll need the enrollment URL. The enrollment URL can be found on the very top of the screen in the macOS or iOS tabs. Your enrollment URL is your standard Jamf Pro URL followed by /enroll. My Jamf Pro is hosted on Jamf Cloud, so my enrollment URL is https://trainingcatalog.jamfcloud.com/enroll. If your Jamf Pro is hosted on-premise, the URL will be the URL for your Jamf Pro server with :8443/enroll at the end. Fun fact, if you prefer the British English spelling, you can use the word enroll with one L as well. Let's start off by enrolling my test computer. On a test computer, open Safari. Navigate to your enrollment URL. And then sign in either with an approved directory account or with a Jamf Pro user account that has enrollment privileges for computers. If logging in with a Jamf Pro user account, we're prompted to assign the computer to a Jamf Pro user. If we were to sign in with a directory account instead, the computer would be automatically assigned to the user who signed in. If we want to skip assignment, we can just click Enroll without specifying a user. Now we're prompted to download and install the MDM profile. Click Continue. A notification pops up for profile installation. Open the System Settings app, and then navigate to Privacy and Security, and then Profiles. Double-click the MDM profile, then click Install. Then click Install again. After a second or two, we'll be prompted to enter the admin credentials to install the profile. After that, the MDM profile will be installed, and then the rest of the Jamf management framework will install. We can start to see various profiles that my computer is in scope of start to populate in the Profile section. And after a few minutes, the self-service app opens up. Back in Jamf Pro, we can see the inventory record of my newly enrolled computer. Now let's enroll a mobile device. I'm using an iPad, but the same steps can be done on iOS. From the home screen, open the Safari app. Navigate to our enrollment URL, and log in. This time, I'm logging in with a test account from our LDAP server. Notice this time it didn't ask me to assign a user. If an LDAP user logs in, the device will automatically be assigned to them during enrollment. Tap Continue to download the profile, then tap Allow to allow downloads. This pop-up tells us that the profile has been downloaded, but we still need to review it in the Settings app to install it. Leave the Safari app, and open Settings. Tap Profile Downloaded, and then tap Install in the top right to install it. Then tap Install again, and then tap Install again. Here, it's letting the user know what the Jamf administrators will be able to do. Tap Install one more time, then tap Trust. And just like before, if we switch back into Jamf Pro, we can view the device's inventory record. And with that, user-initiated enrollment is now set up. Remember, devices enrolled through user-initiated enrollment do not automatically have supervision activated, and management may be removed by the user at any time. When possible, always try to default to using automated device enrollment for the best experience. User-initiated enrollment is still a great option for devices that aren't in Apple Business Manager or Apple School Manager, or as a temporary enrollment solution. That's it for user-initiated enrollment. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.